The Joe Rogan Experience.
Why do you think the metaverse didn't take off? Why was that a colossal failure?
Well, it's because I mean, look, you know, Zuckerberg's version of the metaverse is that no one has legs. Like everyone looks like Nintendo Wii characters and stuff, and it's goofy. Where you look at like something like VR chat, which I use, you could be anything you want. You could have a scan of you and make it look super realistic. So when you're talking to somebody, you look like you're talking to a real person. But like that, see, that's actually a woman that used her phone and scanned her image into an avatar. And that's the stuff that's cool. And unfortunately, Zuckerberg and all those guys have been pushing this like ridiculous Nintendo Wii.
No, this was this was Zuckerberg. This is Meta's
right. But that's the metaverse that you know. And he's not selling this metaverse, right? You know, he's selling this silly version of it.
So what's the silly version? Is the fact that you have to have the headset?
Well, could you just type in like you know the
Oculus Worlds? I think.
Yeah, or whatever. That's the stuff that what he's showing is more closer to what I'm using right now, and that's you know VR chat. This is see like look at all these goofy characters, like. See, you have no legs. You look like a little cartoon. It looks like for kids, you know? Mm-hmm. And what you were just watching like with that other image that is coming soon or, you know, that's the kind of stuff that's already out there and that I use. You know, I could be a realistic person. I could be a cartoon character. I could be anything I want. I have legs. This is just like, I don't know, for kids. It's very kids.
This is not the only thing that was available, right?
Correct.
Like,
this is just to like hang out and talk to people, I guess, right?
Right, but
There's
this
not
is
much
what
to do in here.
Zuckerberg, like the metaverse, this is his, like where he's spending billions of dollars thinking this kind of thing's going to take off. And, you know.
So here's something that I asked someone over a year ago that I didn't understand because we hadn't seen the AI stuff. There's spaces like this where I'll try to pull it back up on the screen. When this guy is like floating around in here, this is not how they did it, I'll be honest with you, but this is how it was explained to me. When you're in that world, it shows like a missile silo or something. You could be like, nope, don't make that a missile silo. I want to be on a beach. Mm-hmm. You just say that, and it'll go, okay, poof.
Yeah.
Now you're on a beach. And it's like, no, it's too cartoony. Make it more realistic.
Right.
And it'll be like more realistic beach.
Right.
And that's how some of the metaverse stuff is supposed to be. It's not here yet, though. And I don't know how long it's going to take to get here.
But isn't a barrier to entry just the putting on goggles? That's a lot of people don't want to do that.
Right. Well, it's also makes people sick. It also, you know, a lot of problems, and that's mostly based off frame rate. So, like, if you're using something that is poorly made, like software, like an app, and you put it on, and the frame rate's shit, then you're just going to get sick immediately. Or
is it too low a frame rate?
Yeah, too low a frame rate, you start getting sick.
So it just confuses you?
Yeah, it just makes you feel like uneasy, like, you know, when you're spinning on a carnival ride or something, and your stomach starts getting a little...
That makes sense where if your eyeballs are seeing something that's blurry and fucked, your mind might say, oh my God, you're sick, you should throw up.
Exactly.
You ate something bad, you're dying.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
here's something I'll show you. It's there's not a lot of content, and Facebook may be fucking up by not showing this stuff more. So Canon made this dual fisheye lens. I'm pretty sure it's the only one that's out there right now.
Right.
That allows you to shoot content to be watched in these headsets. Mm-hmm. And when it's done right, which hasn't been done right very much, but when it is done right, it's fucking amazing. It is wild how cool it looks. But there's not a lot to look at right now, and you have to put the headset on to see it.
Right.
But things in front of you look like you should just reach out and touch them, and they're in high definition quality.
It seems like every iteration of these things, we're always waiting for the one that's like, that's it. Like if you go back to when VR was first talked about, it was like the 80s and 90s. Remember they thought that was going to be a thing. You put on the goggles, you're in another world. But technology wasn't really there. And then all of a sudden with Oculus and with the HTC Vive, okay, we're getting real close. Now we're getting real close. But it's still like... not quite.
That's what they.
That's what they. 90s.
Yeah, that's what they think Apple is going to do with their headset. It's going to be that cool, supposedly.
This is VR in the 90s. So
yeah,
they probably thought this is the beginning. We're getting ready, and this is going to be the future.
And even to use this, you had to be in a big pod, like those pods we almost want to use now. But the pod was just to track you. Like if you went out of the pod, it wasn't reading you. Anything inside the pod, it read, and you had to have all sorts of cables and wires and things connected to you.
Still though.
Where did they have this at?
They did it at COSI.
Okay.
So this is in the 90s, and here we are, 2023. It's still not quite. You would have thought that would have taken off.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's what the headset looks like. Which they still have these things in arcades all over the place. The graphics got a little better, but
one of the things they think they're going to be able to do is recreate psychedelic experiences. They think they're going to be able to make a VR psychedelic experience so you could trip balls without having to do any drugs, and it'll have the same effect on your mind.
I do a pretty good version of it like all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah. The thing I play all the time, I have a character that you could do DMT, acid, mushrooms, and stuff like that, and you take it and you start seeing a little bit of trails on your hands, and then the more you start seeing more trails, like it's pretty good. And you could do DMT where there's like fucking like Buddhas coming out of the ground, like that look like lasers and shit like that.
Really?
Yeah. It's sometimes we'll just listen to music, get high, and just do that for hours.
And what are you using? What is this?
this looks like Unreal, but someone's made a shroom trip. It
Yeah.
looks fun.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
This just goes on for a few minutes. Yeah, there's just different visuals and stuff.
How many grams did you say that is?
Yeah, see, I love that lighting effect where it's like clouds, shadows. Whoa.
Maybe this is a real video, then they fucked with it.
Yeah, I think this
Those
is
are real dogs.
Yeah, this is a real video.
The dog knows you're tripping.
That's cool.
So what are you using?
I'm using VR chat, which is like the good version of what Zuckerberg's trying to do.
And VR chat is connected how? Like you're using a PC?
It's free. You could actually use an Oculus for it. You're not going to get that great of graphics, but I'm using like a really high-end PC and a Valve Index headset, and it's VR chat's free. And it's kind of like, you just download it, you make your character or whatever, and then you go, hey, I want to go to Disneyland, or hey, I want to go on a beach, and you just type in beach, and it's like Google, and they'll show you all the worlds you can go to. And then you go there, meet up with your friends, do acid on the beach or whatever.
And the graphics are really high end?
Oh yeah, it's each level is made by a different person, so there's like good versions of it and bad versions of it, realistic versions of it.
So this is like the real cutting edge.
This is way more popular times a lot, than Zuckerberg's stuff.
Really?
And this is
like how many people are using this?
It's one of the largest user base of a multiplayer game on Steam.
Yeah, there is another thing which I don't like. You're hung up on that headset. You don't. Maybe today you do, but you're not going to have to use the headset. You'll be able to play with me and Brian if we have our headsets on just through a browser like this. Like you
can do that right now.
Yeah, you don't have to put the headset on.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can play it like a video game.
Yeah, or a chat room.
Now, what is the best version of graphics? Like these things are all made by different people, right?
Yeah,
so what's the best version?
So if I were to play this right now with you, I have bookmarked like all these worlds. So like I have the best world to go to if you want to be in a beach, best world if you want to be on the moon, best so. Like look at this bar. This kind of has good lighting and stuff, but it almost looks like a nice realistic bar. And look at that character. See, like that's somebody that scanned themselves. It looks like.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
How weird.
And so now you look back at what we were just watching with Zuckerberg's, metaverse, and it's so silly compared to this. Like graphic wise, it's like you can be anything you want.
Yeah, but isn't the metaverse stuff, the Zuckerberg stuff, capable of doing things like this?
Yeah, it's just that's why it's not working though. Like look at that. That looks like a real ice bin for popsicles, like at a convenience store. That's not the graphics you're seeing on Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg's is very cartoony, very kids kind of feeling.
But is that for all of them or just different software applications?
Well, like you could play this on the headset, but the metaverse it is the Facebook. Like they're trying to get you into that metaverse world, and that's what's failing.
But it's other stuff in the metaverse, like with the Oculus that they have these virtual tours.
Yeah, but that's not like the metaverse. That's like you can play. The headset's just like a computer, pretty much. So you can download anything on it.
So the metaverse is like a walled garden.
Metaverse is like what we were just watching VR chat, where it's kind of like a chat.
That's the
with
real
friends.
Metaverse. But what Zuckerberg was trying to do, you're saying, is like a walled garden. Like they were making it very specific to these apps. They were going to have these kind of cartoony things.
Right. The Metaverse is doing it through all these characters and stuff like that. I don't know. It's so hard to explain because it's they made it confusing as fuck, you know?
But if anybody can't explain, if you can't explain it, nobody can explain it.
Right.
You
And that's a
love that
lot of the
shit.
problem, you know? It's VR's taking off. The metaverse is just not taking off because Facebook wants you to live inside their world, you know,
And it's a world that they create, though.
Right.
So that's what I mean by a
Right,
walled
yeah,
garden.
well, yeah.
So it's all their stuff.
and it's also very stylistic.
I kind of feel like if I've been having the problem, if I haven't come across anything yet that like Brian and I couldn't explain or show you in less than 3 minutes, then they haven't fucking figured it out yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
We're not there yet. So like
Right.
I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems close, but it seemed close for 4 years. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like with every iteration of the virtual reality world, it's like this is going to be it, but it's not.
I don't know how much the pandemic would have slowed down production. I feel like it did fuck up some stuff while they were all working in offices doing stuff, messing with these headsets. Because they have shown some behind, like, there's a video Zuckerberg has, I think, on 60 Minutes. They were showing some behind the scenes prototype headsets. Mm-hmm. They have a thing that's it sticks out from the head, like the eye area. It's ultrasonic sound waves that are pointed at your mouth. And the lady that they had tried, maybe it was a guy, they said they could feel raindrops on their mouth.
Jesus.
And that was recreated with sound waves.
Yeah.
Physically touching you. But that's not anything they have commercially available. It's just like an in-house demo. And that sounds fucking cool too. But
It seems like it's the neural link. It seems like it's some sort of neural interface. When that hits, then all this shit's going to make sense.
And that's even scarier because you don't know what you're seeing is real or not. You know, that's sci-fi movie shit.
Yeah, you're going to walk right off the top of a building.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you get hacked somehow or trolled and like you go into traffic, you know.
Yeah.
That's scary as fuck.
Well, I mean, the future is always going to be scary when it comes to things like this. Just technology in general. There's going to be some mistakes.